Welcome to the Seed Creative Podcast, the podcast where we discuss both video production and just life in general. The goal of this podcast is the same as the goal of our business, to make a difference in people's lives.
Okay, I know what I'm going to say. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome to the Seed
I'm
Creative...
ready.
Oh. Welcome to the Seed...
No, I'm good. I'm ready. Whenever you're ready to start.
Welcome to the Seed Creative Podcast. We're back. No guest this time. It's just us again, which means you probably already clicked away. No, I'm just kidding. We are here, and George has recently got back from Paris, and I haven't seen his eyes since. What has gotten into you in the last...
I'm asleep.
Oh.
That was the joke, because you couldn't see my eyes.
Oh, yeah. It's because you're...
I'm wearing sunglasses for audio-only people.
Oh, yeah, I forgot they exist.
Yeah.
Sorry, audio-only people. Like my mom, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll find out. She'll tell me when she watches.
Or listens.
Ooh, good point. All right, so anyway, how was Paris, George?
Yeah, Paris, Alabama. It was, no.
Is there a Paris, Alabama?
I don't know.
There's a Paris,
Maybe.
Texas, and there's a little Eiffel Tower that they built.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And it's an oil rig, too.
Oh,
So, like,
of course.
yeah. Good old
America.
shout out to you, Paris, Texas.
Yeah, so I went to Paris, France.
How long have y'all been? First of all, how long have y'all planned that trip? Like, how long?
Oh, dude. Like, maybe close to a year.
Which is crazy because most of y'all's trips are like, oh, like a month from now, we're going to go to the beach or something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Well, there's like, so we have like, there is actually like a plan. Like, we know it's a tradition on the last day of school every year. We leave straight because it's always a half day. We leave straight from the school. We go to the beach for a week. So we know we will do it. So maybe it's not planned right now, but like we know, okay, we're going to do this.
So you just don't tell us. And then you're like,
Right.
hey, by the way, I'm not going to be here for a week. Bye.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, like this basketball game thing that I'm doing Friday, like we bought tickets for that in like December.
Yeah.
You know, like, so that's 4 or 5 months ago. Like, we knew. But I just told y'all, like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm going to be gone Friday.
Well, also, a year is a pretty long time, but also planning a European trip is
Yeah, 'cause we had
extensive.
never
So
done
a
it.
year is still kind of short.
Yeah.
Like in European trip planning.
Like, we
time.
knew we wanted to. We
Right.
just didn't, like,
Book the
start
tickets.
actually doing it and planning it and stuff. Because, like, it takes forever to get... We had to get all the kids'
Passports.
passports back.
Yeah.
And that took forever. And you know what I mean? So...
I have a friend whose mom was like gonna go visit them and just found out their passport is didn't check their passport and it's a year and a half expired, so they're like screwed. Is that
Yeah,
crazy?
I mean, because it takes like 6 months or something. to
well,
get
yeah,
back.
when you get it
like,
the first time,
sometimes it can.
when you get it the first time,
Yeah.
because you can renew it after this. and it
Yeah,
makes it
that's probably
easier.
faster.
Yeah, when you renew it, you might even be able to do it online these days.
Also, I said 6 months. It's more like 6 to 8 weeks or something.
It still feels like an eternity,
Yeah,
especially
it
if you're
does.
like, oh, I suddenly won the lottery, but I don't have a passport. You can't go to Europe. Like it's
Right.
not happening.
Right.
Anyway, so you planned it for a while.
Yeah, we planned it for a while. And when I say we, I mean Christy, because she does everything.
And was this? Were you guys always going to go to France? Because I remember you were originally going to take a trip to
Oh.
Mexico, and like, did this evolve out of that?
Okay. So that's yes. So all of those trips were just me and Christy.
But they all got canceled because
And they all got canceled because of either COVID or like she had been vaccinated, but it was like not long enough. It was like, even though she had her vaccine, it was like, well, you haven't been vaccinated for 2 months, so you can't go. It was something that was all back in like 2020, 2021.
All this to
timeframe.
say, y'all have been building up to go on a bigger trip
Yes.
that for a long time.
Yeah, for like a while.
as long as I've known you, basically.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, we knew we were going to do it, so we ended up finally settling on Paris just because it's like enough out of our comfort zone to be like, wow, this is a big deal. Because like London, I mean, let's face it, like going to London is cool, but it's not that big of a stretch.
Nah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
everyone speaks your language, and I mean
I'm going to London in like 3 months. Yeah, it's like
right.
yeah,
like going to London for us would be about equivalent to like a little bit cooler than like New York.
Yeah.
So we were like, all right, let's go somewhere where like we know it's gonna be like a challenge, but it's not gonna be like too crazy. And so we settled on, Paris, and we're glad we did because we had a phenomenal time.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just telling my friend Jared, like 98% of it was awesome, and like 2% was like really bad, but like 98% was freaking amazing. So
Can you tell the bad stories on the podcast?
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll tell me about your favorite parts and that kind of stuff first, then we'll tell the bad stories.
Okay. Well, why don't I start
You
with
just tell the
like,
whole trip story.
let's just
basically.
tell the
Yeah.
trip. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this was a family trip. So that was me, my wife Christy, our 15-year-old son Ryder, our oh god, I'm gonna get all the because like we went like during birthday time.
Yeah.
15-year-old son Ryder, 12-year-old daughter Lucy, and then Finn was 9, and then he turned 10 in Paris.
It's pretty dope.
So that was cool. And then Rosie is 7.
People always ask me how old your kids are, and I'm always like, they're somewhere between 15 and 6. That's what I always say.
No, that's correct.
Yeah.
Because I have kids that span that. I have 4 kids.
Yeah.
And so, so we flew out of Birmingham. We flew from Birmingham to Chicago, had like an hour and a half layover, and then Chicago to Paris.
Birmingham, Alabama.
Birmingham, Alabama.
There's a Birmingham,
correct. England.
It's just we're talking about.
Yeah,
Europe
sure.
and make it-
Birmingham, Alabama. And then, so we flew overnight. So when we landed, it was 10 a.m. in Paris, but it was like 2 or 3 a.m. to us.
Mm.
But we forced ourselves to stay up. So we got off the flight, went straight to the hotel. Hotel room wasn't ready because the check-in wasn't until like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Dropped our bags off, walked over to a little bakery, and that was where I got to use my French that I had learned
How did that go?
pretty hilariously. So,
Yeah.
okay, so when we first get there, it's like our Uber driver like speaks a little bit of English, but like it doesn't really matter because everything's done through the app. So like they knew where we were going and it was fine. Oh, and we didn't have an Uber driver when we got. Yes, that's correct. We had a van pick us up because we had all the luggage and there were 6 people. So we had a van service and he did speak English. That's right.
Gotcha.
So that was great. And then when we get to the hotel, they speak English, like everything's fine. And then I'm like, all right, so we're going to go over to this bakery and I hear nothing but French. Of course, we're in France. And I'm like a little bit nervous. I'm like, okay, here we go. Like everyone's hungry. I walk up, they say bonjour. And I say, bonjour. Parlez-vous anglais? And the girl looks at me and she just goes, yes, what you want. But she said this. She goes, yes, what you want? Sandwich? Like implying like, oh, you stupid American. And I was like, yeah, we do want sandwiches. So anyway, it was kind of funny, but like I think she was more like kind of playing around, but like also annoyed because she knew.
It's like when you joke with somebody but you're really being like, but there's like anger behind
there's
the joke.
a little bit of truth in there. Yeah, because she knew like we're about to come in here and we don't know what we're looking at. Everything is in French, obviously. We don't know what kind of meat we're looking at. Like, you know what I mean? And so we're like, what is this? And she's like, it's ham. You know, what is this? That's, lamb or whatever, like all this stuff. So anyway, we get the food and then we're like, okay, now we have to figure out how to use the metro. So we're following Apple Maps and it's just like, take this metro line here. And surprisingly, the metro is actually really easy to use. So that was one good thing. Like, it's not that bad.
Yeah. Well, also you're fortunate too. We're fortunate that we speak English primarily because
Sure.
like if you were speaking like Chinese or something, like that was your only language you
Right.
knew,
That would
that'd be
really
really
hard.
tough. And
Yeah.
like we're just fortunate that also people in Europe are smarter than us and all speak like 12 languages.
Yeah, most people spoke English a
Enough
little bit.
At least understood what you were saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, we get on the metro and we go down to the stop that we're going to, which is we're gonna visit the Louvre, which was really neat. Of course, we're all a little bit jet lagged, but we're pushing through it because we're excited.
How many coffees in are you at this point?
On Only one.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
just one from the airport. Yeah, so I'm not doing too bad. Now here's the good. Well, and I had like one on the plane, so I guess two.
Okay.
And even the coffee on the plane, like by the French people, was like way better than anything here. It was awesome.
Dude, okay.
The coffee is freaking awesome.
Weird take. I've only been to Europe once, and the food was awesome on the plane. I know it's like a weird take, but like the food.
We did not share in your experience.
Really? No. Oh, dude, the food I had.
It was awful.
I flew. What'd you fly?
United.
Okay, I flew Air France, and it was awesome. Like I was sitting in coach, and they brought me like a cloth napkin, like fancy napkin.
Ours was legitimately like as if it had been like pulled out of the freezer, heated up in the microwave. We had to peel plastic off of it.
Gotcha. Yeah, that was not my experience. And again, I sat in like the cheapest seats on the I didn't sit in first class or anything, but I was like, this is awesome. Anyway.
Yeah, food's pretty bad in France for people like me. So
yeah,
wasn't very good at all, ever. The best food we had was McDonald's, Chipotle, and we did go to one Italian restaurant that was amazing. Everything else was awful. We were there for I guess 6 days.
See, people would say that's short.
Well, yeah, and we had like 5 days of actually doing stuff.
Yeah, people would say that's short.
Well, so the thing is, we had to get back because it was only the kids.
Yeah.
The kids had school or whatever. So anyway, so we're going to the Louvre and the metro door opens, and I think it was Lucy and I get off, and we turn around, and metro door closes before the blink of an eye, and Christy and my other children just disappear. They're on the metro, and we're like, what do we do? So luckily, it wasn't that big of a deal. Christy got off at the next stop, and we ended up finally meeting up with her. We had a tour guide that we met, and she took us through the Louvre and like kind of showed us, here's the cool things to look at, here's the stuff that doesn't really matter, and she gave us some like history behind a lot of the art. So that was really interesting.
Pause for 1 second.
Okay.
Have you never been in New York City?
No.
That's why. I was gonna say the subway is the same way.
Is it the same?
Yeah. I mean, I've
done like the London Underground, and it doesn't seem
that's
like it's
totally different.
Yeah, it seems like a lot slower.
Yeah, no, the subway, it sounds like the same. Now, I swear to you, last time I've been in New York 3 times, twice semi-recently, and the time I was there most recently, I swear the doors stayed open longer than the time before that. Because there's like famous story in my family, I'm not going to tell it, but people got lost in New York City because of that. So anyway, so I wasn't surprised to hear. I was thinking about that when you left.
Well, I mean, that's the only time it happened because now we were like standing by the door and we're like shoving people out of the way. And they're okay with it because they're used to it.
Exactly. That's how New York is. Like, you could bump into somebody and they don't turn. Like, I remember when I was there, I held the door open for somebody and it was like I freaked them out.
Yeah.
Because people in New York don't take time for anybody else. It's just like
right.
So anyway,
yeah, that's kind of how France was.
Yeah, I think it's just a big city thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue. I thought about that, and I thought you were gonna.
So our
our
tour guide, she was super cool, super nice. We were just so tired by the end of the tour, though. We were kind of like, okay, the Mona Lisa, whatever. You know, like we were like, okay, let's go. Louvre is super cool. You know, I would say, I mean, we definitely should have probably done like a half day there, but we only did like 2 hours and we were just too tired, so we left and went back to the hotel, slept and all that. The next day was our favorite day for sure. We had a tour guide named Dominique, and it was like just us and him. So
did you know it was gonna be like that? Or
yeah, like we paid for, dude, I mean, again, we knew we were going to do this, so we kind of like paid for the best experiences we could.
That's what I think you should
just
do.
Because it's like that might be the only time I ever go to Paris in my life. I don't know, but it probably will be. Just because like the next time we go somewhere, we want to go, you know, to London, or we might want to go to Spain, or we might want to go to Iceland, or I don't know. Yeah. But we probably Poland, sure, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
So anyway, the next day, Dominique, he just took us anywhere we wanted to go, and that was super cool. Like, it was so free and relaxing, and like we could go at our own pace, and we weren't in a rush. You know what I mean? Because he was like, I'm with you for 8 hours. So, and he was actually like really easy to like talk to, and Finn, of course, made like best friends with him because Finn makes best friends with everybody he talks to. And so he just took us around. So we went and saw so much. We saw the Arc de Triomphe. We saw the Chateau something. It was a church. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
But it was cool. The Eiffel Tower and 2 or 3 other places. Oh yeah, just downtown. Like I guess it was like downtown Paris. It's the place in Paris where like all of the artists are.
Gotcha.
It's like a big block of like just artists everywhere, and they like we did caricatures of the kids, and they bought some like little paintings that someone had done, and so that's really cool, and it's something that they can like keep. You know what I mean? It's like a physical like an artist like in France painted this, and now it's mine.
Did you see the cafe that's in Inception? Did you see?
I think we drove past.
I think you sent me a. Did you send me a picture?
No, but we did drive past it. I did because I said to Chris, he was like, "There it is," but like then it was gone.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like I knew to look for that.
Yeah.
I really wanted to see the catacombs, but it was
Yeah.
like on the other side of Paris by the time we were where we were, and we just didn't. The kids didn't want to. We didn't really have time to do.
Did you see the Notre Dame? Did you see that?
We saw the top. Like we saw like construction. Out
Yeah.
there.
Well, yeah. I was gonna say,
I
how
could
did it
see
look?
it from. I was really far away,
Okay.
and I don't even know if Christy saw it because that was when there were transportation strikes, and she and I had to take 2 different Ubers. Like I can't remember. I took like the 2 little kids, I think, and she took the 2 bigs, or it was one of those ways, and they were asleep. They fell asleep because they were tired, and I saw it, but I was like, again, it was in the blink of an eye.
Yeah,
it was
I
like we
know.
just kind of drove by.
I was just curious because I knew it like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you can't go inside of it right now.
Yeah.
Anyway, because it's still under construction.
I have a friend who was the last person on top of it.
Me too. His name is Trip Powell.
Yeah. Oh no! Wait. No. There's a guy.
He was one of the last because the next day he was there, and then the next day he said it fell and burned.
Yeah. No. I have a friend that like they locked the gates. Like it was like they closed the door.
So he was
was
there
literally the last person.
So he was there when Trip was there. Then
Yeah. Basically,
it was the same day.
Yeah.
Because
I forgot Trip had been there.
Yeah, Trip was like showed me the photo, and he was like, "This is one of the last photos
Yeah.
taken from up here when it was the original spire." Or
I should go ask my friend to be like, hey, Trip will think it's funny. Hey, did you see her like a loud Alabamian? Triple think that's funny.
Oh no, he will.
Yeah.
A loud Alabamian.
Oh yeah, that's Trip Powell.
That's so awesome. Anyway, yeah, dude. So that was cool. The next day we did Versailles, which is just, oh my gosh, dude, it's so big.
Yeah.
Like you can't of course I'm gonna be like photos, videos do not do it justice. You
mean it does do it justice, and you should buy our stock footage? No. I'm just
No,
kidding.
yeah, sure. Our 1080 stock footage from the 1DX Mark II. It's so mind blowing in like a good way and a bad way. Because like as I'm walking through, I'm like, this is absolutely phenomenal. Like this is incredible that human beings that long ago were able to make something so big, so well done, like so beautiful. At the same time, I'm like, all of this is tax money of like people dying in the streets being taxed so that they can have literally gold everything. Like every Marie Antoinette's room is like everything is gold. It's almost hard to look at because it's so ornate.
Yeah.
Like it's just freaking crazy.
It's like cool and sad. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm like, this is really cool, but this is like terrible. No wonder they rioted and like chopped all their heads off. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of get it. It's like, that's crazy money. It's estimated at, I think, $58 billion or something like that.
Dude, that's crazy.
Like, I looked it up. It was either 50 or 58 billion, whatever. It was over $50 billion.
It's crazy how that used to be a thing. Like the Von Trapp family home from like The Sound of Music. Actual family has that room that's entirely made of gold, and it's like the size of like, I don't know what to relate it to. A band hall is the only thing I can think of what to call it. Like a very large room.
Yeah.
Like 10,000 plus square feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is wild. And it's all hand art. Like, it's all hand painted. Yeah. Anyway, but Versailles was cool because we were on a tour and we had a tour guide, and it was just us and one other family, and they were from Georgia. Like in the southeast of America. Like,
That's funny.
Georgia, yeah. And we're like talked about like Nick Saban and stuff, and like it was it was funny. And one of their boys was like Finn's age, and him and that kid were like friends and running around and playing.
What if they meet again somehow?
That'd
That's
be
possible.
weird. Yeah,
I mean, they're not that far away.
No, 3 hours. But anyway, so that was really cool because we walked around and then we did a golf cart tour. So like I drove a golf cart around like the grounds of Versailles.
Oh, that's cool.
And like we went to all these different places on the grounds, and then we got off the golf carts and did a bike tour. And so we rode bikes, and that is a freaking workout.
I was gonna say,
I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, we thought it was gonna be like this leisurely, like oh no, you're like going up hills on like a 6-speed bike, and you're like, oh, all these European people are super skinny, and so like this is not a big deal to them. Christy and I are dying.
dude, I saw a picture. I think Christy posted it of y'all doing that, and I started chuckling because I knew that was gonna. You were gonna say that,
bro.
I was like, they're screwed.
Oh, it was hard.
And that's not even like y'all aren't even like out of shape. It's like it's just people that bike every day.
It was
30 miles.
No,
Yeah.
like this, like the Georgia family was struggling as much as we were.
Yeah.
Like the guy kept having to slow down and stuff. Of course, he's used to it. He does it every day. But we were like, oh man, and I was pulling Rosie too. That's the other thing.
That was a picture I saw. I was like, oh, poor George.
Dude,
I was like, he's screwed.
It was hard. It was really, really hard. We did it, but it was hard. I mean, there were a few times I got off and walked. I was like, I can't
earn your baguette that day.
Dude, I can't make it up this hill. Like it's not even a little bit gonna happen. So, but again, I was in good company because the dad of the Georgia family was walking right beside me.
Were they Georgia fans?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
So anyway, dude, that was really cool though, because I mean, we got to really see like a part of Versailles that I think probably most people that visit probably don't see.
Right.
Because most people, like when we were out there, there's, couple dozen people at a time, maybe, like, and this is spread out all over.
Yeah.
And then you go in Versailles and there's like hundreds of people.
Yeah.
So most people go and they go inside and then they leave. We got to see like Marie Antoinette's like second house on the grounds of Versailles. Like there weren't that many people over there, so that was really neat. That was a cool experience, and that's where she would go to like get away, from everyone and everything. And apparently that's where she was whenever like the French Revolution was happening. And because she wasn't in the palace, she was down at her little house. Like someone from the palace, rode a horse over there or whatever and like told them, and then she escaped, but they ended up finally getting her like weeks later or whatever.
Cool.
So anyway, we got to learn a lot of history about all that and everything. That was cool. We learned that Louis the 16th, who was Marie Antoinette's husband, was a family man. Apparently, he didn't have any or he didn't have many mistresses. He was like just very devoted to like his wife and kids, which was really unique
rare at the time.
and rare at the time. I think that it was that by the end of his life, it was him and Marie Antoinette. That's like, he didn't have mistresses or whatever. I could be wrong, but that's what the tour guide said. But people at the time said that made him weak. And that's why the French Revolution happened, is because he wasn't like a man's man.
That's so crazy.
Isn't that weird?
It's not even that, like, I mean, it's a long time ago, but like it feels like when you think about it, you're like, that's not that long ago in the history of humanity.
Right.
Like Jesus was a long time ago.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, it is weird to think about. Like, so anyway, at the time they said that he was weak because he was a family man and like all this stuff. So anyway, I also learned that he had a boil in a very sensitive part of his body, and a doctor that had never performed any sort of surgery to fix this situation went and practiced on inmates at the prison so that he could make sure he did it right. And then he ended up performing the surgery, and it was a success. So, isn't that
good job?
I know. Like, I learned weird things like that. Like, it's just interesting. I don't know, history. Like,
here's the thing. I feel like every tour guide, I've always wondered if every tour guide makes one random story up. Like, you can't confirm that. Maybe.
I don't know.
People are like, this is obvious if you're
Yeah.
from Europe. You're like,
I don't know.
in the
They also
comments.
talked about like how there were like dozens of fountains that would like jet like water up into the sky, and this is all done by just gravity and pressure, and because there's no electricity, there's no pumps or anything. They talked about how they were able to get water uphill so that they could then let it flow downhill, and that created the gravity and pressure, and the spouts just get smaller and smaller, and they could jet water up like 100 feet in the air or something like. And this is really impressive.
Ronald Reagan would be a big fan of that.
Yeah,
Get
so
it-
like
get
weird
it trickle down economics.
anyway, so just cool stuff like that. And then we did Disneyland Paris. I'm not gonna talk a lot about Disneyland Paris because it was kind of a letdown.
yeah.
Like it wasn't. I mean, it was okay, but it was not at all the same experience that we're used to at Disney World or Disneyland.
How many? I haven't asked you this. How many people were there? Were like a lot of people there?
in just France?
No. Disneyland Paris.
It was. I mean, there were people there. It wasn't like crazy packed like how it is here, but it wasn't. It also wasn't like, oh, there's no one here. I mean, I think the longest line we stood in was probably 50 minutes.
See, I just wonder if it has like a stigma against it, and then that's like reverse psychologying it to where it's like Disney doesn't put as much money in it or something.
It definitely seems like Disney does not put as much money into
Because it was a
Disneyland
massive failure, right? When it first came
believe
out.
so,
I
yeah.
forgot. There's a whole episode about it on the Imagineering story on Disney Plus, which is a documentary I highly recommend. It's like a good feel good, like safe family documentary to watch. But I remember them saying it was a flop, so I kind of half thought it didn't even exist anymore or something, which makes me also wonder, is it underfunded now? Well, not underfunded, but you know what I mean. Like, do they not put any effort into it? It's just kind of like, it's breaking even, it's making a little bit of money, whatever.
Yeah, it kind of seems that way.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It just seemed a little bit sloppy.
Did
like-
anyone recommend it to you, or was it just like, there's a Disneyland
No,
Paris,
like,
we want to go to
I
all
mean,
the Disneys one day?
If you're watching,
Yeah.
look at my hat. Like, we're a Disney World, Disneyland people.
So is your goal to go to every?
Yeah.
Okay.
So before I die, I'll visit. And so we've been to 3 of the 6.
What's left?
Shanghai, Tokyo, and
I can do Shanghai and Tokyo on the same trip, probably.
Shanghai, Tokyo, and dude, my brain.
No, they used to call it Euro Disney, right? Or Disneyland Paris was called something else. I think it was Euro Disney when it opened.
Hong Kong.
Hong Kong. You
Yes.
could probably hit all of those on like a one long trip.
That'd be a long trip, though.
Yeah.
I will
Go
do.
visit David Barker.
I
over
will
there.
do Tokyo when Finn turns 13 because that's where he wants to go for his 13th adventure. So every kid, when they turn 13, they can pick anywhere in the world they want to go, and we'll take them.
Wait, who'd you say is going to do that?
Finn.
Oh, he
so
wants to go.
Ryder wanted to do Hawaii, and then COVID screwed all that up, and so we ended up just doing Utah, which because he's like really big, he wanted to go see like Zion National Park and like go through the mountains and stuff there. So he was kind of easy because it was here in America, but like Finn wants to do Tokyo, Rosie wants to do Paris again as of right now, and Lucy's doing Hawaii. So
Cool.
Christy will go to Hawaii this summer with Lucy.
So, it was called Euro Disney when it opened in
Oh, okay.
1992, so I'm not crazy. Also, do you want to guess, hold on, Disney has revealed that over the decade. Okay, do you want to guess how much money Disneyland Paris has made in, I think it says 10 years?
In 10 years?
Yeah.
Net profit? Or just gross?
It says booked. It's in,
Oh, so gross.
yes,
30 million.
30 million,
Yeah.
3.6 billion. So I guess it's pretty popular.
Oh, wow.
Well, let's look up like
I
how-
was going way low because I was like, I don't know.
But also, it's everybody in Europe. It's if they can't.
It's the only thing
afford
they can
to go
do.
any further.
Yeah.
I mean, also, if I lived in Europe, I don't know if I'd ever visit America either, because there's so much to do, so many different things to see in Europe. You
Yeah.
never get done with it. So, but yeah, so it kind of sucked.
Yeah, it sucked. I spilled coffee on Christy.
Yeah. You want to tell that story?
Yeah.
It's a pretty funny story.
I mean,
It's
now.
not funny, but like it's funny now that she's okay.
Yeah. So,
Which, to clarify, she's fine now. Is it totally gone now? Like everything's
Yeah, she's
100%
fine.
fine.
She's
Okay,
fine.
No scar. Okay, good.
So this little, very short French old lady, very sweet, is serving us. We're part of this, like, it was called Compass Club. Disney people will know what this is, but so we went in and sat down. They're like, "Do you want anything?" We're like, "No, we're just gonna eat our snacks and then visit the park." And she's like, "No, no, no, no. Let me get you something. Let me get you something." And I'm like, "Okay, sure. We'll have some coffee." So she gets the coffee, and these are like coffee on like very nice like ceramic like dishes, not like in a styrofoam coffee cup with a lid, no lid. And she kind of seems like she's struggling a little, so I'm like, "Oh, let me help you with that." And my hand like grazes the tray. And it was enough for her to just like lose complete control and balance. And dude, she just turns over and just dumps 2 scalding hot coffees all over Christy's arm. And it's not like a little bit hot. These are like burns. And Christy's wearing a sweater. And so it gets on her arm and then it's just sticking on her arm. It's not like she could get it off really quickly. And she's like having to stand there, and we finally got her sweater off her arm or whatever. And she's just like red whelp looking splotches all over her arm. And I felt so bad, dude. Like I wanted to cry. I was like, I couldn't even explain. I was like, half of me is like, that's my fault. Like I should not have tried to help. Like the other part of me, legitimately, I'm like, I barely touched this tray.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. There was the little bit of me that was like, I mean, if she would have had like even a little bit of a grip on the side of the tray, it would have been fine.
Yeah.
But it was like carrying it like this, like how you do a pizza or whatever.
Yeah.
Just anyway, whatever. It's my fault. Like I shouldn't have.
But the funny part is that next part.
Here we
go. Yeah.
So they're like, okay, we need to call like whatever it's called, 116 or 11. What it's like their version of 911. And we're like, no, she's, Christy's saying, I'm fine. It's going to be okay. They get her some ice, all this stuff. And then it gets to a point where she's like, no, we need to call somebody. I'm actually legitimately burned. I just need aloe vera. By this time, someone has come up that speaks like really clean English and it's, we can talk to them. So they call the paramedic. Paramedic gets there. They immediately go into action. They're getting Christy's blood pressure. They're like checking her heart. They're like doing the little pulse thing on her
finger. How long
finger.
did you have to wait, by the way?
Probably about 10 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad. Okay.
Yeah, 10 minutes or so. But they're like doing all this, and Christy's like, all I need is aloe vera. Like, why is this such a big deal? So they didn't have anything like that there on like just at the hotel, the Disneyland hotel. So then this guy gets here, he does all that, and then takes all this paperwork, getting her name. He speaks no English at all. We're having to go through a translator, do all this. Another 10, 15 minutes goes by, all to find out they don't have any aloe vera.
So the hotel doesn't have aloe vera.
The hotel doesn't have aloe vera or like even a first aid kit.
Or the paramedics.
The paramedics don't have anything.
And this is one thing you pointed out to me was no way a Disney hotel wouldn't have freaking aloe vera.
Oh, no. We have stuff like that at the studio.
Yeah.
Like, we have, like, a basic first aid kit. Like, I don't know. It just seems like, I don't know. Maybe it's a cultural thing. I have no idea. I don't know. But you would think they would have had something like that.
I mean, maybe people don't burn as much because it doesn't get as hot. I'm just trying to think of like how common aloe vera is.
I don't know, man. It's very regular here, yeah. So anyway, so then they're like, well, you're either going to have to go to the hospital or to get aloe vera, or you're going to have to go into the park and there's a medical wing area or something that we can get it there. So by the time we get to the park, she's like feeling okay. So we go through the park the whole day and then we make the stop at the medical place at the end of the day. And they do have aloe vera, but he didn't speak any English. And it was this whole ordeal to explain to him what happened. And he finally got it. And it was like 1 squirt of like aloe vera in this like little tube that he gave her. Like here we would have been like, here's, 10 tablespoons of it or whatever. Slather it all over your arm. But no, they were like, squirt. Here you go. So anyway, she's fine now. But I felt really bad because, I mean, she cried. Like, it hurt. It was very painful. So I felt bad.
Aloe is apparently very common in Europe, but it's not used. It's used for like food and some other stuff and cosmetics.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
I don't even, dude. I'm willing to bet they didn't even have like Band-Aids. Like it seemed like they didn't have anything there. Like the paramedic had that stuff, but
I wonder if it's like, if it has to do with like how their healthcare system works. I don't
have
know.
no
That's
idea.
weird.
I don't know.
Because it's like the ambulances are free, so it's like
Yeah.
you don't have to provide it as much. I don't know. That's crazy though.
Yeah.
But I'm glad. How long did it take the burns to go away? Like, were you able to get
No,
more?
like it was still hurting her like the next day or two, but then it finally went away.
Okay, but were you able to get more anywhere else, or
Mm-mm.
oh dang man,
No.
that sucks.
Just used ice and
Well, Chrissy's a champ. Then.
push through it.
Yeah.
And then the next, so that, yeah, I can't even remember. See, that's the thing. I don't even remember which park we did which day. I think we did.
Yeah. So what parks
We
are there?
did. So there's two parks. There's one that's like a version of like Hollywood Studios.
What's it called?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hollywood something maybe.
Or is it like MGM, like it used to be
Yeah,
called?
it might be.
Yeah.
And then the other is like more like a Magic Kingdom. I think it's just called Disneyland Paris is the other park.
Yeah.
And we did that one then second day. So we did like the Hollywood Studios thing and then like the Magic Kingdom style park the second day. And again, it was okay. Like it wasn't a horrible experience. It just wasn't like Disney World in Orlando or Disneyland in California.
So do they have like some of the like typical rides? Like they have like Space Mountain.
They do have Space Mountain, and that actually was one that I did not go on because Rosie couldn't ride it. But their Space Mountain is like if you blended Rock and Roller Coaster and Space Mountain together from Disney World. Like, and that's there. So it like goes upside down and has corkscrews and all that stuff.
Walt Disney Studios. That's
Walt Disney Studios. Yeah. And then the other one is what? Just Disneyland Paris.
Park Disneyland is what they call it. Yeah.
So anyway,
that's interesting. That did they have like? So they had, but what other like normal ones? They have Splash Mountain.
I think so, but I think it was closed down. We did do their version of Haunted Mansion.
Oh yeah,
which was called something Manor. Like
okay.
I can't remember, and it was good. It's a little bit creepier than the one here, so it was cool.
So what was your favorite part of Disney then in Paris? Like what was something good about it? Was the hotel cool?
Yeah, I mean no. It was okay, dude. I don't know. It was just.
So you wouldn't recommend it?
I would recommend it if you're really into Disney and just to say you've done it.
Yeah.
But no. Like, we would have probably had more fun just doing another day how we did with Dominique, where we just go around in Paris. Like, that was the coolest day.
All right, so last question.
All right.
Let's say you're someone like me, because I've considered doing this. You're in London, you're just going to train over to Paris for like a day, because you can do that, because it's only like 2 hours on the train.
Yeah.
What would be the one thing you would do? Or like,
the one thing?
Yeah, you have like, say like 4 hours in Paris. What would you recommend doing? It doesn't have to be like go to the Louvre. It can be like walk here or something, but what would you do? If you're like,
dude, this is probably either the Eiffel Tower or that church that we went to. Like a chateau, I can't remember what it's called. Those, I mean, sorry, like the Eiffel Tower is pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
Like it is.
Did you go on it?
No.
Okay.
So like that's what I would say. Like go on it. Like go to the top of it or whatever.
Because I've considered just like training over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, the Eiffel Tower is pretty cool, dude.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of people walking around. There's artists and stuff going on. There are a lot of people like illegally selling like little like Eiffel Tower toys and stuff, and they've got them. They're everywhere. They've got all their stuff laid out on blankets.
Yeah.
And Dominique was explaining to us the reason that they do that is because when the police come up, they can just grab it all in one bundle and fling it over their back and just take off running.
That's how they do it in New York too. I have this funny story. It's really brief. We saw this Louis Vuitton bag. I think we've told my mom the story. If not, she's about to find out. We found this Louis Vuitton bag because they sell like knockoff purses on the streets and stuff. And me and my dad are holding this purse, and we're like, this looks pretty real. We're like, and it has like an authenticity card in it, but we're like, you can fake that.
Sure.
So we're just looking at it. We're like, I think we bought it from the guy for like $40, okay? Which is like pretty good for like a cheap, but it was like a nice knockoff, okay? So we go to a show and we take it with us, I think, and we come back 3 hours later. It's like midnight, maybe closer to 1 a.m. This dude is face on the ground getting handcuffed, and there's and they like move this thing, and there's a box that says like property of Louis Vuitton International. That they like.
So it was real.
So it's real. I mean, my dad just kind of like stuffed the thing.
Oh wow!
And we just like kept walking. So I think she still has it. I remember it seeming later. It seemed crappier. So like the jury is still out of whether or not it was real or
and
not.
he just had that box to make people think it was real.
Yeah. So the jury's still out about whether it was either like the worst Louis Vuitton product they make,
Yeah.
or
A really,
good fake.
Yeah.
But like she used it for years.
That's funny.
Yeah. Let's see. I think we got it in 2018. So she used it for like 3 or 4 years.
So one thing about Eiffel Tower people, like, we knew of all the scams ahead of time because we watched. So if you ever go, if someone comes up to you and starts asking you to sign a petition, don't do it. It's all fake. It's a fake petition. It's a fake reason.
What's the point?
They get you to sign it, and then they all just kind of crowd around you, and they're like, all right, you said you would give us money. And they like make you like pay towards this. And it's like, no, I explained to you, if you sign this, that means that you're giving to our cause. And they like will harass you and stuff. And we had several people try to do that to us. And we're like, no, like go away. Also, most of the guys that sell the Eiffel Towers and stuff, they're all very friendly and acting and stuff like that. But like they'll also like, one guy did it to Christy. When I was over filming, I was like, a split second went by and this happened. I didn't even know it. But he came up and just took her phone out of her hand and like started like, I'll take a photo of you. I'll take a photo of you. And then they won't give you your phone back.
Did they try to do that with your camera?
No, because
Okay.
I had it around my neck. But they took her phone, and luckily Dominic was there, and he was like, no, like give us the phone. Like he like did that. But again, I didn't even see it happen. I walk over, I get like a few shots of the Eiffel Tower, I walk back, and they're like, this just happened, and I didn't even know about it. Also, apparently, and this is another tip, put your wallet and your keys and your phone and all that in your front pocket, and if you can, like zip it up in your pocket or in your jacket, because they will try to pickpocket you. And a guy did come up behind me, and I never even knew he was there. And Ryder and Lucy saw him, and they were like, he just tried to pickpocket you. Like,
Yeah.
and I didn't feel anything or see it, but my wallet was in my front pocket, so he didn't get it.
There's no way, like in my jeans, that someone, like, because that's what I would wear when I was there. There's no way. My jeans are pretty tight that they would not, I would not know. It's because I pay so close attention.
I mean, I believe you. At the same time, I didn't even know this guy.
I almost got pickpocketed in London when I was there, and I noticed. So that's why I'm like,
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
But
yeah, I had no idea he even came up
I'm
behind
also
me.
slightly OCD, so it's like,
Yeah,
that might be it.
that's insane though. Like,
Yeah.
Ryder and Lucy were like, before we could even tell you he was gone, they said he came right up behind me, like an inch away from me. And like, I felt nothing. I never even knew he was there.
But he was unsuccessful, I guess. Was he trying your back pocket?
He was trying my back pocket, but I didn't have
Gotcha.
anything in my back
No,
pocket.
I don't think I would notice if it was my back pocket.
Yeah.
So that's probably what you, yeah.
Anyway,
That's crazy.
super creepy.
Also, I just want to say I'm impressed with you because you took our newest lens with you. And when it
It's in
left,
perfect shape.
I looked at it and I was like, this isn't even going to be his fault, but there's no way this is going to come back looking as clean. Because, like, it's dirty, like,
Yeah.
and it's in perfect condition. Like, I took it, that was the first thing you handed me and said, put it away. And I went,
You know what? Hey,
I was genuinely surprised.
when it's just me by myself, I actually am like pretty careful and take really good care of stuff.
I don't think you take bad care of stuff. I just thought there's no way it's going to go all the way there. You're going to carry it around
Oh, and I
city.
used it. I used it every day.
I
all
know.
day.
When I saw
Yeah.
the footage, I was like, he took it everywhere. Like
I
thought
did,
about it.
yeah.
I was like, there's no way. And I was like, it's perfect.
Yeah.
I was so happy.
You could use that edit in this podcast a little bit if you wanted.
I knew you were going to say that. And I almost
You didn't
did,
want to shoot
I
B-roll
almost didn't.
or put B-roll
I
in the
almost
edit.
didn't even want to do this episode because I like making it so simple, but I'll throw some in.
Yeah, dude. Just throw when I
Here,
talk
go
about
down. All right, see, that was
when I talk about the church, like throw the church shots in
I
there.
will,
Eiffel
yeah.
Tower. It'll be
Do
easy.
you have an export somewhere?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like talking about the edit on the
I'll
podcast.
put it on the server.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you did already?
I will.
Oh, you
Or I
will.
might have already actually. All
Well,
right.
anyway, I'm glad you went. I'm glad you had a good time. And you were really tired when you got back.
Dude, I still am tired.
Dude, I freaking called it. You were like, I'm
yeah.
going to be way more I'm like, nah, dude.
I thought I was going to be more tired in Paris. I was not tired in Paris. I was fine.
Yeah.
It was when we came back and the kids are waking up at 4 a.m, like wired. Like,
See, and you get up. Well, we had a debate about this.
I don't get up that early. He thinks I get up so
6:30 is
early.
early.
I mean,
Before 7 is early.
sometimes I don't get up that early, or sometimes I'll wake up, but I just I still lay in the bed. I woke up this morning at 5, but I laid in the bed.
Dude, I woke up
and
at
ended up
8 this
going.
morning.
I went back to sleep for a little while and then got up.
That's crazy. It's just I think about that all the time. I wake up and it's George has been up for 3 hours. I think about it all the time.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, maybe this
My body is hardwired to wake up every morning at 3 or 3:30 from UPS, and I still do it to this day.
You would think it would break eventually.
Nope. Every single morning I wake up at either 3 or 3:30, depending. Every single morning. And I'll be up for a little bit and then I go back to sleep.
When you go on trips, sorry, we'll stop after this. When you
Okay.
go on trips by yourself or with us, do you sleep later without kids? Is that part of it? Or is it just naturally you wake up at 5 a.m.?
I don't wake up at 5 a.m.
Oh, you don't?
No, I woke up this morning at 5.
What time do you think you're on your own hotel room? How long?
Dude, I'll probably try to sleep in. I mean, even if I'm awake, I'll just stay in there and just rest.
Good.
Yeah.
Because we're going to NAB. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
We're going to NAB. And when this podcast comes out, I believe it's the Monday before NAB. So we're leaving in
a few
days, I think. Or we're there. I can't remember.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. Next Monday. Yes. Okay. So we're going to NAB in a week from the airing of this podcast.
Here's the deal. Even if I woke up, that doesn't mean I'm going to do anything.
No, I know.
I might just lay there.
I'm not worried. I thought separately. I was like, what time does he actually wake up? Is it, hey, I have to wake up because my kids get up and need to go to school?
Well, yeah, that's why. I mean,
what time do you have to drop your kids off? So that dictates it too.
I mean, I usually try to get them there at 7:50 in the morning. It's a 6-minute drive, 7-minute drive.
I had
from our
a
house.
few 8 a.m.s, but you got to keep in mind, I haven't had to be anywhere
Yeah.
since middle school before 9 because high school was 9 o'clock for me.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, my dad had to get there earlier, but still. So anyway, yeah. So anyway, we're going to NAB. I'm very excited. I can't literally can't wait. So
And we're meeting some Motion VFX people. Which
yeah,
is
dude, that's gonna be
super
cool. We're gonna meet some other people if you want to meet us.
Oh yeah, if you want to meet us, we're
gonna be there.
Email Nick.
Well, we'll be at the convention Monday and Tuesday. That's what we should probably say. Well, we won't say exactly how long we're gonna be there on the other sides of it.
Is it open Sunday too or no?
Yes.
No. Yeah, we're gonna be there. We're gonna be there Sunday and Monday,
and we leave Tuesday.
Yeah.
All right, so now you know when we're leaving.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I'm excited. I mean, I'm excited to go to Vegas just in general.
Yeah. Nick's a party guy. He's a party animal.
Yeah, you know it. I don't know. There's just stuff I want to see while we're there. If we have time. Obviously I'm gonna go see the fountain. We're right by that. That's my main thing. We're gonna try and ride in the tunnel, the Elon Musk loop thing from the hotel.
Or from the airport.
From the airport, yeah, because it's gonna be easier. I'm gonna ask my dad to confirm, but he said that the way it's gonna work there is that you're gonna be able to ride anywhere without making all the stops, which is sick. So anyway, all right, we'll see you there. Thanks for listening to the Sea Creative Podcast. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another one.
Go to Paris.
But
not Disneyland Paris.
But you can only go if you're from Alabama with a person from Georgia.
Yes.
In tandem.
Correct.
All right, goodbye.
See ya. This podcast was produced by Nick Golden with executive producer George Edmondson, edited by Nick Golden and Gavin Manning. Be sure to subscribe, drop a like and a comment. Tune in every Monday for brand new podcast content, and we'll see you on the next one.